before we start this project, I want to show you a few things that you're going to need. This is called What's Up. This is chrome powder. Luxachrome is another color. Now these two colors are, I don't know if you can be able to see this. It's a little darker chrome, but it's got more of a goldish hue to it. And the What's Up is more light and no hues whatsoever. It looks more like chrome, or silver I should say. Then you're going to need an applicator to put it on. You're going to need something that's fuzzy. I mean, it don't have to be. I just chose this because it's come off an old speaker, and I use this on the final coat as far as smoothing it out. You're going to need a blank. I've already primed this one and got the first black coat on it. The chrome works better on black. Your other colors will work better on whites. And I've noticed that the powder, putting the powder on, will work better on a bait that's more round. So we're using the Ozark Hog bait. We're going to use some 30-minute BSI, Bob Smith. Now, sometimes these are out of stock, but you can get these other places, but they'll have different names on them. Like this one has JCP, but if you look on the back, it's made by BSI. This one's the Noble Knights. This is in the 13-ounce ones, Noble Knights, but on the back it says BSI. So if you're looking for the 30-minute, don't just look for Bob Smith. You can look at other places that'll have the same product, but may have a different name on it, made from the same person, same company. Then you have micro powders like this that you can applicate on this same way. There's some yellow, and you need to do the ultra sparkle glitter. Will work, but today we're going to use the What's Up. What's up? We'll use that. And I got a piece of paper. You don't lay something down because it's going to be it is kind of messy if you're not careful. And I've just folded the sheet like that. So whenever my powder goes down here, I can actually put the leftover back into the container and save it. So let's mix some 30-minute BSI up and get the first coat on. And all I'm looking for is like dime size droplets. You don't need anything bigger as far as just for one bait. And I don't weigh out or measure out. I just kind of do equal amounts. And I like to mix on an aluminum foil, because this will give you, if you mix in small drops on aluminum foil, will actually give you more working time with the epoxy so it don't harden up as quick. I notice if you put it in cups, containers, it'll definitely harden up quicker, a lot less time. And plus, doing like this, if I'm doing a bunch of baits, I'll do drop, 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 drop all the way through. And then I can use the same brush for probably 10 to 15 baits, depending on how fast it works and how thick a coat I put on it. This works pretty good like this. At least I hadn't had any problem with it. We're just gonna cover it. Try to get as smooth as we can. You know, so I've already got my lip slots cut, so I gotta be careful about, getting too much in there, because I'll have to clean it out. And it's best this is more or less a time issue as far as putting the powder on. You can't put it on with the epoxy too wet, and you can't put it on epoxy if it's too dry. You got to be to the point where it's tacky but won't leave a fingerprint. I know it sounds weird, but that's the way it works. And I notice if you do it this way, a lot of people use that KBS for top coat. You cannot use a KBS over this powder. It will just destroy it. It'll turn it gray. This is probably the most boring part of the whole process. I'm a little shaky this morning. I just woke up, so I'm a little groggy. I was gonna go fishing, but it was raining, so, and I hate being on a kayak when it's raining. Just make sure you got everything covered good. I like to put the first coat on like this, a little bit thicker. It helps get rid of any imperfections in the bait, because I hate sanding too. Let's see. Alright. We'll have to let that dry and come back and test it about every 10 minutes. And I won't actually test the bait to see if it's sticking. I will test what I got on my aluminum foil. If I can touch that and my finger don't stick to it, but I can still feel tacky, then this bait will be ready to go. And we'll do the next application. And we'll be back here in a little bit. And we're just going to let that spin. Spin, and spin, and spin, and spin. Alright. I think we're close enough for the next application. You take your little sponge and you're just going to tap it in there. Now you're not wanting to press hard. You're basically just wanting just very light, like feather touches. Okay. I usually start from the back to front, but it don't really matter. We're just doing a test to make sure it's going to be not too wet still yet, not too tacky. I'm barely dipping this in there. I'm barely even touching the bait itself. If you feel any resistance to your brush, it's probably going to be, might be still a little too wet. But I think I'll be alright if I go slow on this one. I still feel a little bit of resistance, but I'm not doing a lot at a time, so. And there are little points in there you can't get your brush to, so you just want to dab it in there the best you can. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oop. Now you can do it like this if it's a little bit drier, that way you can force it in. I think mine still probably could have, I probably could have waited another 10 minutes before I done this. I'm not too concerned about getting the very bottom or the very top done real good, because I am going to add some colors, because I am going to be painting over this a little bit. Mainly the top and bottom. I'm going to try to leave the sides open with the chrome. I still feel a few spots that probably a little wet, but I think we'll be all right. Now this is where that little fuzzy deal comes in handy. I'm going to knock off the excess. This kind of helps flatten down the. It's going to stand up a little bit, but it always looks better from the next coat on it. Oh, where are you at? I got to zoom back out. Sorry. A little confusing. Now I'm going to let that set for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to try to buff it, get it a little bit more smoother. But that's a start. Now to let it dry a little bit longer, I'm going to do like a little swirl technique to try to make anything that's standing up flatten out. But I'm still not putting hardly any pressure on, because I don't want to roll it up. I'm mainly trying to get it to look a little bit more shinier. Yeah, this is kind of boring. Be an understatement. It's probably about as good as it's going to get. Sometimes it comes out real shiny and sometimes it don't. But that's not too bad. It'll look better once you get a clear coat on it. And you got to use epoxy. You can't use no spray can clear or KBS or any kind of spray, because it'll actually pull whatever you put on here. It'll actually pull it up. So epoxy is your friend on this part. Looks better. Like I said, I could have probably waited another 10 minutes before I actually put it on. It would probably look even more better. But I got impatient. But I'll take a clear coat on it. I'll make it look pretty good. Alright, I'll get a clear coat on it, and then we'll come back and we'll start doing the painting part of it. Okay, I'm going to be using some dark blue. Let's see. Where is my paint at? We're going to be using some Wicked Violet. And I'm mainly going to do this top side and the sides a little bit. Shake it up a little bit. Way too much. I hate when I do that. So what I got is this airbrush is called a .0. It's a cheapo, but honestly I just love the shit out of it. Put this little blue hue on the top side, or I should say violet. Till I get what I pick this out of. Like that. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. And we'll let that dry for the next step. And I gotta clean my airbrush out. Next I'm using a little bit of Wicked, just plain white. I'm putting this on the belly, so whenever I go over my chartreuse orange, it'll be a little more brighter. Just a little bit. I left a little bit of purple in there, violet, so you got more of a off-white. Next I'm using a little fluorescent orange, golden. I'm going to go over the belly with this color too. Just try to do the very center and let that little whitish purple stick out on the side the best I can. That dry, and we'll do our final step. Now we're going to use some, I already went ahead and put the netting on, and we're going to use some golden, just carbon black. I'm going to try to just go down the side slightly, and of course the back will be, I'll take the netting off after that. Try to do thin coat where the purple still shines through, but yet it's still got a black coat to it. Because the golden is kind of translucent to a point. I hit that little one. About stretched it. Still got a clip on it. Alright, you can barely see them. That's what I wanted. A little scale pattern. Now I'm just going to go over the back with black. Just mainly a line. Lined up. So the front part here, where the eyes are going to go, I'm going to darken them up, both sides. Hopefully you can see that. Now it's time to put the eyes on, gill pattern, logo, and it'll be ready. Alright, now I'm going to dot the eyes, which I already put the gill and logo on, and I actually use a water slide to do that. I will go over that on a different video. So right now I'm just using some Walmart paint, just apple barrel, excuse me. And then I'll have to let this dry, and then I'll just use some black and dot the eyes. And hope I don't screw it up right off the bat. Whoa! Yeah, that was way off. That looked really bad. It's hard to do it sometimes. Okay, I can live with that. Now I have to let that dry, and I'm just going to dot it with black, and I'll just use the same thing, just some apple barrel paint. And then we'll get the first clear coat on it, and I'll install the hardware. But right now I just gotta let that spin around and dry. That way it don't get droopy, because it is kind of thick on there. Alright, I'm gonna start doing my epoxy, and I'm also gonna put a little bit of this red glitter on the very back of it. But I'll put the clear coat first on the sides and everything, then I'll go back and mix a little bit in. Sorry about the lawnmower. Somebody's mowing. No respect. Now that I got that covered, let that spin for a minute. Now I'll add some red flakes to what I have left over. Won't take much. Now I'll mix that in. Then I'll go just over the top, or actually where I want it at. Red flakes. Should be top and right between the eyes. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll let that dry, install the hardware and final coat, and it will be done. Didn't turn out too bad with the little red sparkles on the top. Not too bad at all. Thanks for watching.